Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. This is Let's Play Chaos Head Mill, and today we'll be doing the final ending of the game. The true ending of the game. The double A ending of the game. So after I do this, I guess there's a prelude that's available, plus we can check out their extras. This has been a very, very good game. I highly recommend it. That being said, there definitely is some disturbing and uncomfortable aspects to the game, but it's a horror game. That's supposed to be. You know, that's what the genre we're playing is. There's horror. Horror is supposed to have scary, uncomfortable things. But I'll say this: voice acting, the story itself, the art, especially this music, for the whole game. That being said, I've described my personality as a Dragon Ball Z fusion of various characters before, like Yusuke Urameshi's Sailor Moon. I've mentioned a little bit more about that in community posts on YouTube. But, yeah, Licht Bach from the anime Plunderer in a Dragon Ball Z fusion with Takumi Nishijou. And by the way, just to be clear, I mean the Takumi Nishijou that we play as for most of the game, not the one in the hospital dying of super cancer. I'm talking about the one that's shadow clone jutsu'd into reality and lives a life of, well, Lunar D8. You know, being the loser otaku that I am. Bah! OBS Gen seems to work just fine. Let's hop into this. Even though I just checked like OBS like 20 times. Bah! Okay, let's hop into this. Okay. Blue Sky. Chapter 10! Okay.
Nishijou Nanami ga inoru.
Oh, so we're back at this point in the original game. Wow. Okay. Nanami Nishijou is praying.
兄と共に収容された病院。怪我人が溢れた待合室の片隅にうずくまり。
She and her brother had been sent to a hospital. They're in the corner of a waiting room overflowing with injured people.
実の兄のしわくちゃの手を握りしめて。
She's holding her real brother's wrinkly hand, whereas the Takumi Nishijou that I am is the one that was, you know, made via shadow clone jutsu.
右手の痛みに耐えて。
Enduring the pain in her own right hand.
目を閉じて。
She's closing her eyes
祈る。
and praying.
もう一人の
Praying for the safety of her other brother.
楠木ユアが
Yua Kusunoki is praying
倒壊したビ
in
ル
the
の
rubble of a
外
collapsed building inside a large shipping
そ
crate,
こに
half
埋もれる
buried
ように
and
横たわ
lying
る
on its
コン
side.
テナの中で彼の美少女フィギュア
She's
を
holding one of his anime figurines in her hands.
地震と火事
The
で
damage from the fires and the earthquake have warped his figures
フィギュア
almost
たち
beyond
の
recognition.
姿に
It
感
hurt
じ
her
た
to see it, but she
胸の痛
endures.
みに耐え目を閉じて
She's closing her eyes
祈る
and praying
彼女を許してくれた
for the
少
safety
年の無事を
of the boy who forgave her.
岸本綾瀬
Ayase
が祈る
Kishimoto is praying.
避難所となっ
At
て
the
い
Sume
る
Academy,
水明
now a
学園
shelter for the survivors. She's on the
そ
roof
の
of the
校舎の
school,
屋上
looking
で
up at the
空
sky.
を見上げて神話が
In
書
her
かれた
hands, she
文
holds a
庫本を
paperback
握
book
りしめて
filled with myths and legends.
崩壊した渋谷を覆う
An uncountable number of
不
delusions
特定
cover
多数
what
の
remain
妄
of
想が見せ
Shibuya,
る悪意の痛
and
み
the
に
evil
耐
within
え
them pains her, but she endures.
目を閉じて
She's closing her eyes
祈る
and praying
彼女の歌を
for the safety of the boy
彼女の話を
who
聞いてくれ
listen to her and her
少年の無
songs.
事を折原
Kozue
が
Orihara, or Kozu, or Kozubi, is praying
新鮮駅
in the
の
dim light of the platform at Shinsen Station.
青い瀬名の
She's holding Aoi Sena's trembling hands,
足の傷の
enduring
痛
the
み
pain
に耐
in
え
her injured leg.
目を閉じて
She's closing her eyes
祈る
and praying
心の声で
for
語
the safety
り合った
of
ク
her
ラスメート
classmate,
の少年の無事を
who she spoke to in her heart.
青い瀬名が
Aoi Sena is praying.
横たわる父の傍らに
She's sitting next to her father as he lies on the ground,
父の冷たくなった手を
clutching his
握
cold,
りしめ
stiff hands,
最後まで素直になれなかった
suffering from the
後悔
pain
の痛みに
that came from never being honest about what it was she truly wanted. Even at the very end,
目を閉じて
she's closing her eyes
祈る
and praying
彼女のお
for
願い
the safety of the
に
boy
不器用ながら
who
答
tried
え
to
よう
grant
と
his
して
wish
くれた少
in his
年
own
の無事を
awkward way.
咲畑り
Rimi
みが
Sakihara is
Inoru.
praying,
冷たい床に
lying
横
on the
たわり
cold
ながら
floor.
彼へ伸ば
Clenching
した
the
自らの
hand
手
she
を
stretched out toward
き
him
つく握
tightly,
りしめて傷だらけの
enduring
彼
the
の
pain
姿を見
she
て感
feels
じ
in her
た
heart when she looks at its
締め
terrible
付けられる
wounds.
ような胸の痛みに耐えて目を閉じて
She's closing her eyes
祈る
and praying
自分が守ろうとした
for the safety of the boy she
自
tried
分
to
を助
protect.
けに来て
The
く
boy
れた
who
少
came
年
to
の
save her.
無事を
僕は何もできなかった。
I was helpless to do anything.
君が
You're the one who took action.
その結果として
And because
みんなが
of that,
君のことを見てきた。
everyone saw you.
君という周囲
A
共
shared
通認識
awareness
は
of your existence was already created a long time ago.
これからは
From now on, no. Even in this very instant,
君こそが
you are the real
僕
me.
僕は
Who am I?
君は
Who are you?
誰
Who?
君は僕
You are me. Oh, and we have questions. Okay. Let's try to keep track of this very long list of things. Okay, so 2 yeses. You are me. Yes,
僕は君
I am you. Yes,
僕なんていない
now we need 3 no's. It's like a fucking combination. Okay, so 3 no's. There is no me. No.
君なんていない
There is no you. No.
僕は僕じゃない
I'm not me. No.
あなたは鬼。
Okay, now we have all yeses from this point on. Everything from this point on is yes. How many numbers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 yeses. Well, at least that makes it easier to not fuck this up. You're my brother. That we are kissing. Yes.
あなたは西条くん。
You're Nishijou. Yes. I'm like having flashbacks to all the other fucking endings, which are all very emotional. You are Takumi. Yes. It's a very, very good game. You're Takumi. Yes. You're You're Nishijou. Yes. You're Taku. Yes.
僕は僕。
I am me.
僕は妄想の存在。
I am a delusion. Yes.
僕は存在する。
I exist.
僕は西條匠。
I am Takumi Nishijou. Yes.
僕は
I am.
その声が聞こえた瞬間に
The second I heard that voice. Okay. And what's happening?
意識が
My
僕を
mind
固定
fixed
した。
in place.
ぐちゃぐちゃにかき回されていた世界は一気に収束する。
The messed up, mixed up came together in an instant.
混沌が僕の理想度を
The chaos converged to form my D sword.
僕は
I regained
僕
my
とし
shape.
ての形に戻る。世界は
The
世
world
界としての
regained
形
shape.
に戻る。僕は
I am me.
僕だ。
My vision became clear again. My wounds were healed. My top and bottom were connected once more. I was standing on my own 2 feet. The pain was completely gone. My heart was completely at peace.
妄想によく打ち勝ったね。
You defeated the delusion.
僕の最後の力を
I'll entrust you
託すよ。
with the last of my power. I could see Remy in the corner of my vision. She was safe. She was looking at me. She was crying. Don't cry. And right behind me, space itself was working. The prayers have been heard 6 gospels. Or perhaps the screams of 6 souls. Far too innocent. Far too dazzling. Elegant. Far too regal. Far too sharp. Far too violent. Far too destructive. And far too beautiful and terrible. I took them onto myself. The 6 blades spun. Sorrowfully, or maybe joyfully, they let out a scream. They fused with my D-sword. I gripped the D-sword's handle. I held it tight. I felt its sensation in my hands. My arms were moving. They were completely restored. This is a truly interesting phenomenon. You Monster. I looked straight at Narose.
確かに
Yeah,
僕は
I may be a
化け物だ
monster, but this is to save Rimi, to destroy Notu,
僕が望んだ
the
妄想だ
delusion I desired. Narose's response was fast. He still didn't have Takumi Nishijou's code sample. He thought he'd pushed the boy to the brink with delusion tech, but now the tables had almost completely turned. He couldn't let that happen. Narose charged. He brought his D-sword up from below. He sliced it across Takumi's chest. The D-sword could cut through anything. It didn't matter how hard it was. Cutting a human was no more difficult than cutting through jelly. Narose's lightning-fast attack had sliced Takumi in two. But there was no blood. Takumi's lower half almost fell, but it didn't. It was still standing. And in the next moment it regenerated. Uninjured, as if the attack never happened. The body that had been sliced apart just a second ago had already grown a new head, a new right arm, and a new right shoulder.
嗅覚は遮断
I shut off my sense of pain. Takumi took a step towards Narose. Narose grimaced. He flipped the D-sword over. So since you abandoned the shape of your body, you can take any shape you want.
あんたの見せてく
It's thanks to the delusion
妄
you
想
showed
のおかげだよ
It hadn't been able to maintain his shape as a human, but he had taken that delusion and made it his own. He wasn't regenerating, he was replenishing. The lost parts were made from infinitely multiplied dust inside of him, formed into flesh and bones. His shape wasn't fixed. Like an amoeba, like a slime, he could change it to be whatever he wanted. That was the reason. Takumi had called himself a monster. His legs took another step towards Narose. Narose's frustration increased. He held the grip of his D-sword and stabbed it out toward the approaching Takumi. The huge scissors stretched out toward either side of the boy's head. You can't have delusions without a brain, can you? He crushed it. A smashed watermelon. Blood spurted everywhere. But Takumi's body kept going forward. The regeneration replenishing only took an instant. When his foot touched the ground, it was as if nothing had ever happened. As if it had been replaced with a new one. His head was there, undamaged. Narose understood. He couldn't win. No physical attacks with his D-sword would be effective. His enemy had taken his delusion attack, his attempt to deny their existence, and turned it to their advantage. In this moment, Takumi Nishijou was so far beyond human, so twisted in existence, so perfect a monster. But Narose couldn't give up. He thought of using Noa2's power to blast Takumi with countless antiparticles. Nothing could withstand the collision with antiparticles without turning into negative matter, collapsing in on itself. If destruction from outside was impossible, then he would have to destroy his foe from the inside.
そうなんだね
Good idea. Takumi had read Narose's thoughts. What? The light of Takumi's D-sword changed from red to black. Black flames shrouded the blade. It roared and stretched out. It was as if it was a huge black snake. And then it will appear. It wandered the room too big for the dome. It scraped against the roof, it scraped up against the floor, as if it was eating away at them both, devouring them. The great black serpent of wicked hearts, that which is the same yet different, which swallows all destruction, and can shatter the body of the king of wicked hearts. The snake's body was composed of antiparticles. The particles which would cause anything they touched to collapse in on itself. It was all an all-devouring torrent of destruction.
触手芸はあんまり好み
Tentacle games aren't really my thing, but I'll make an exception for you. Takumi swung the D-sword where he stood. He pointed the tip at Narose and yelled Hakai. The circling snake snapped its body like a whip, and its jaw bit down on Narose. You can't possibly be this powerful. Narose had never seen a D-sword do something like this. He couldn't tell if this was Takumi's delusion, or some hidden gigalomaniac power. The black fangs were eating away at his body. He was falling apart, but it was so slow, like a frog slowly being devoured in the belly of a snake. The darkness was slowly swallowing him up. He felt no pain. Death should have been instant. But Takumi didn't want that. Narose realized this and laughed bitterly. He wasn't afraid of death. His ideal, the completion of Noah 2, was at hand. You can kill me, but no one can approach Noah 2. It's a perpetual motion machine. It will rule over mankind for all eternity. It won't just sit there silently. It's an artificial god, which will guide mankind to happiness. In a way, Narose was the creator of a god. As long as Noah 2 existed, humanity would not go extinct. Narose's utopia would be realized. But you can get close to it, right? What? The snake holding Narose began to move. It raised his body up high. That means you're the key. Narose's expression was one of pure shock, but it quickly changed into one of pain. The snake flung his body around in a circle, like it weighed nothing. Takumi gave a quick glance at Rimi. Their eyes met. What was she thinking right now? It would be easy to read her mind, but Takumi didn't. Looks like I was able to save you. He quickly looked away. His gaze was now fixed on Noah 2, still emitting its roar. The seat of God, which none could approach. A cradle that showed happy dreams. I'm sorry. He whispered to no one in particular. I might be humanity's enemy, I guess. This machine would create an eternal paradise. A future without conflict. And now Takumi was about to ruin that future. Whether that was wrong or right, Takumi didn't know. But you see it all the time in myths, right? Gods screwing things up for the sake of a girl. So, I think I'll do the same. Sacrificing humanity's happiness for the sake of a girl he loved. Takumi drew the hand which held his D-sword back behind his body. Breakthrough. And then thrust it forward like a spear. The black snake charged forward in a straight line. Its prey, Narose, was impaled on its fangs as it raced towards Noah 2, a spear of pure antiparticles. It had no will of its own, thus there was nothing for Noah 2 to disrupt. The all-encompassing torrent of destruction used Narose as its key, and easily broke through the delusion barrier. At some point, it must have started to rain. There was a violent explosion. The shockwave picked me up like a rag doll and sent me flying. The next thing I knew, I was here. Those eyes were always watching me. Their gaze passed through thick black rain clouds and came down upon me. Don't look at me. The more than the rain's chill, the cold rolled beneath my back. My body began to shiver endlessly. It's so cold. And the gaze that bored into me from above the sky as the text goes by way too fucking fast. I saw the shattered remains of a city. I saw despair. I saw death. I saw nothingness. Nobody was there, nobody was moving, nobody was alive. Was the rain going to keep falling? Until it washed away everything, the living and the dead. until it had gently submerged everything and swept it away. As part of me hoped this was all just a simple delusion, my body refused to move. The only things I could move were my head and my eyes, just barely. I could use the monstrous power a moment ago. If my body wouldn't listen to me, then it really was. Maybe it never listened to me in the first place. Nobody knows where the soul is really kept, after all. So, who could be sure that my soul really was inside this body? But if that was the case, then where was I? Was I here? Was I nowhere? If this broken world where nothing moved, I suddenly heard a sound, a single sound coming out of the nothingness. Who are you? Do you look so pale? Because you're cold? Or because you're dead? But she wasn't shivering. She wasn't shivering her eyes, which are hidden almost completely beneath her bangs. Don't look at me. They looked sad, so sad, but they also seemed filled with madness. They seemed like they weren't seeing anything at all, if maybe. The only things in this world were her and me, and we kept looking at one another like this forever. Would my world be only what was reflected in her eyes? And would her world be only what was reflected in my eyes? In her eyes, I was reflected. In my eyes, she was reflected. When I thought about it that way, the world suddenly seemed so much smaller. If maybe the only things in this world were her and me, and we kept looking at one another like this forever, would my world be only what was reflected in her eyes? And would her world be only what was reflected in my eyes? In her eyes, I was reflected. In my eyes, she was reflected. When I thought about it that way, the world suddenly seemed so much smaller. Suddenly I heard static that sounded so pretty. Her head fell forward, and she spread out her hands, as if she was about to take flight toward those rain clouds, or as if she was trying to take all the rain into herself, into her hands. The delusion that stares at you. With her head bent forward, I couldn't see the look on her face from where I lay. What do you look... This goes by way too fast. What do you look like behind the veil of rain between us? I'll give you your rest now. Is there an ending where everything turns out... Okay, an angel? Are those wings of light a blessing upon me? Or... Oh, now I see. I understand. You're going to use that to kill me, aren't you? Slowly she dropped down to her knees in front of me. She was still bent forward. She embraced my head gently. I felt relieved that she wasn't looking at me and let her take me into her arms. I have to kill you. Do you? She whispered into my ear, the pretty static. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Is there a way not to do that? There's no need to apologize. If I don't disappear, the other me, the real me, will die. So this is for the best. He's about to die in an hour anyway. If you're the one to erase it, that's all I need. It's a happy ending for a monster. I have no regrets. He is literally about to die in an hour anyway. I felt something warm, soft, gentle, and sweet. It was like a drug. The faint sensation of her breathing tickled my cheeks. I smelled something so very sweet. Suddenly I felt a pressure on my chest. The huge sword in her hands tore through the skin of my chest, ripped through the meat behind it, slid between the bones, and sank through my body. Because we die in this ending too. But her kiss was like a drug. I felt no pain. Suddenly I felt sad, like my tears were going to start overflowing. And to stop myself, I looked over her shoulder at the dull, gray, rainy sky. I can't do it. Didn't I already get stabbed through the chest, though? She moved her lips away from me, whispering in a pained voice.
やっぱりタクを殺せないよ。
I can't kill Taku. The reason I felt no pain was because her sword wasn't real booted. There was no wound anywhere on my body.
でも
But you need to erase me.
本物の
Or the real me will. I mean, he's about to die in an hour anyway. He might actually be dying in a couple minutes, no matter what. Me being erased makes no difference at this point, except to me. He'll die. I should be the one to die. Killing me will keep him alive, even if just for a little while longer. Yeah, like 5 minutes. That was what Remy wanted too, I thought.
消して
Get rid of me.
消すんだ
Get rid of me.
できない。
I can't do it. Remy shook her head slightly. She was looking at me with tears in her eyes.
好きなの。
I love you.
あなたの弱さが
I love your weakness.
弱いくせに臆病なくせに
You're so weak. You're such a coward.
ボロボロになって
But you came to save me,
私なん
even
か
when you
を
were
助
so
けに
hurt.
来てくれたその強さが
I love your strength.
好きなの。あなたと同じ時間
I
を
want to be with you.
もっと過ごしたいの。あなたを失いたくない。
I don't want to lose you.
あなたに
I want you to live.
生きていてほしい。
Will you look at me?
僕は化け物なんだ
I'm a monster.
私だって
So am I.
同じだよ。
Am I allowed to live?
君がそれを選んだんだ
If that's your choice,
生きていて
then you're allowed to live. Heard a voice coming from the sky. And then I knew. Because our hearts were linked directly, I could feel it. His life had just ended in that moment.
匠が
Takumi's dead, isn't he?
死んだんだね。
He did have super cancer, so Remy could tell that that was the expression on my face meant. I hesitated for a moment before giving her a weak nod. She then accidentally real booted the damn sword inside my chest, and I die. Don't cry. I don't want you to cry. The feeling was returning to my body. The warmth was coming back. My movements were still stiff. I was still shivering. But my hands could move now, so I took the red handkerchief out of my pocket. There were tears running down Ruby's face. They were so pretty, so clear. I wiped away the tears, the memories you gave me.
僕も君が好きです
I love you too. Remy took my hand and held it tight, as if trying to make sure that we were both here. Her warmth infected me. Her warmth and mine became one. Two people looked up at the sky. It was still covered in rain clouds, but
光は電磁場の波
Light is an electromagnetic wave. The human eye sees it as vibrations, as color.
タク
Taku,
その言葉
those words. They were the words that only he and Rimi knew. They were the words he'd used to give Rimi hope. But I knew them. I had seen his memories. He and I were one mind, in two bodies. His memories and mine were the shared. I had inherited all the memories he had for the past 17 years, and he'd experienced every I had for the past year and a half.
自分のデッドスポットに
Try feeding the color you desire into your own dead spot,
僕たちのあの空の
and we can take back
取り戻せる
the color of that sky. We knew that color. We looked up. In the mental ward, in the mental world, with nothing but sea and sky, and stared at it to make sure we'd never forget. Suddenly the rain stopped. The clouds vanished in an instant. The clear blue sky. It had come back. The sky that went on forever. The sky that gently covered the world. That blue sky. And again, the music is awesome. And like I said, there's still a prelude you can come back to at some point to see additional cutscenes and stuff. Heck, I could even make a video showing off the various music in the library. Oh, here we go. Alright, he died. Though he's technically me. So I'm not actually dead, I just made a shadow clone that was sentient. And then my soul went into that shadow clone. I Dragon Ball Z fusioned with myself. Also, is your hand actually recovered, or is it still imaginary? Is that also better? But yeah, I strongly suggest the anime Plunderer. There's a character in it called Licht Bach. Imagine a DBZ fusion of him and Takumi Nishijou. There's Yua and Ayase. Well, actually, technically Mia. It's technically Mia, but you guys know what I mean. At some point, I'll have to return to the After Dream game. It's not like I play the rest of that, but I'd actually picked up all the games by the developer of that game. Though, speaking of which, the developers of this game, let's see, Nitro Plus, Chiyomaru, Red Flag, and what's the other one? I don't know. I can't. There's another company involved. There's actually several. And here's Kozu and Senna. But yeah, I should definitely keep an eye out for any new games by these companies. You know what's kind of funny? A lot of times people complain, apparently, like, I've seen a few reviews recently about the main reason people don't, apparently also there's an anime of this game too. But the reason why people, oh, Mages, that's the name of it. The reason people don't like it is because they don't like this game, they don't like the anime because they feel Takumi is just such an unlikable, just unlikable person. Whereas me, I'm like, oh, it's me, but in anime form. Alright, our anime waifu. Wait, since Yua was there with Ayase, yeah, it's our anime wife. Our imaginary emotional support. Our imaginary girlfriend. Our imaginary emotional support waifu. Yay, more achievements. Shortcut has been locked. What do you mean, what? What do you mean, what? What? Oh, that's cool. I like this picture, but did I 100% the game? I have 2 more achievements. They are get all CGs and get all achievements. So basically, I like this CG. I like this picture. I like this computer graphic. I like Sarah's boobs. Yay! What? Why are we up there? Oh, it's blue now. Okay, like, what's happening? What was the shortcut thing I unlocked? What was that? Extra. Okay, it says I have 100% of all CGs. I mean, it says 100%. Oh, there we go. I just had to open the thing. Yay! Well, I can go through the CGs at some point. But yeah, this has been a really great game. Now, apparently there's also a prelude and whatever that shortcut thing was, but yeah, I have no idea what that is. Anyway, so going to end the video. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.